Hello and welcome to Joy News today on your multi-TV. Coming up in the next hour, Supreme Court dismisses suits challenging legality of ongoing constitutional review process. Minority in Parliament says fresh evidence it has gathered suggests government's agreements with the IMF breaches national constitution. A National Development Planning Commission calls for an all-hands-on-deck approach as it urges Ghanaians to be optimistic about new plan to transform the country. We'll also bring you business, sports and entertainment. Please stay. I'm Francisca Kakra-Forson and you're watching Joy News today. The Director General of the National Development Planning Commission, Dr. Nimoy Thompson, is calling on Ghanaians to believe in the Commission's proposed long-term development plan. He says the plan can best be implemented if all Ghanaian hands are brought on deck.
It's actually a succession of 4-year development plans, 10 of them, that adds up to 40, that just happens to coincide with our 100th anniversary. So it really doesn't matter the length. You could have a 10-year development plan. If you don't have good institutions, you cannot implement them. You can have a 40 or 50-year development plan, which other countries or other economic areas do have. And if you have very good institutions, you can attain them. But then again, as I said, nothing in the 40-year development plan will be cast in stone. Parliament will have the option of reviewing the higher level goals every 10 years. Any party in power at any time will have the option to review its plan within the 4 years. So it's a fairly flexible thing. The advantage is that it gives us a vision to work towards. That's the overall advantage. We can just decide to have a succession of 4-year plans without a long-term strategic context. In that case, we have no vision. We are simply muddling through. But the advantage, we shouldn't play down the advantage of having a strategic context. It's like the long-term development plan is actually a strategic plan. The first one starts in 2018 and ends in 2021.
There's two things that our institutions don't work, and so it'll be difficult for us to implement the plans, no matter how good they are.
That's why we have proposed institutional modernization. Institutions all over the world are never stagnant. They are dynamic. You have to keep working on them. What worked in 1990 may not necessarily work in 1995 or 2000. So it's a continuous process.
Are you taking into consideration the changing times, modernity and all of that?
Most definitely. You see, no matter what happens, people talked about technology and so forth and so on. Technology only represents the tools for achieving your objectives. So the issue of social justice remains the same, whether it's a question of everyone having a mobile phone or everyone having a fixed line in the past. But the objectives remain the same, the ideas remain the same. It's the instruments that will change, and then we adjust accordingly.
The majority leader in Parliament, Alban Bagbin, has warned the rank and file of the National Democratic Congress to work hard to retain power. He observed that the NDC lost power in 2000 because some serious issues affecting the party were handled poorly, which finally led the party into opposition.
Alban Bagbin, who was speaking in Ho during the inauguration of NDC working committees to operate in the Volta region, claims that the party appears not to be handling certain crucial issues properly. He tasked the NDC hierarchy to take the bull by the horn and tackle such issues before they escalate and consequently affect the party at the general elections again.
We swim together, we sail together, we fly together, we eat together, and if we decide that we don't want to do it together, then we will sink together. Many of you were not at the anchorage when we lost power in 2000. I never want to experience that in my lifetime. Please, we take serious matters as a joke. And in 2000, we did the same, and we suffered the consequences. Please, those of you who have ears, let them listen. Those who have eyes, let them see.
The NDC General Secretary, Johnson Asiedu Nketia, implored party faithful, especially aspirants, to adapt to the structural reforms ongoing in the party, which according to him will classify the party as one of the best political parties in this part of the world. The NDC's Volta Regional Working Committees were tasked to work towards achieving the party's electoral targets in 2016.
There is a by-election coming up in the Amenfi West constituency in the Western region following the sudden death of the NDC MP for the area. John Jetua was found unconscious in his room on Tuesday morning and declared dead later. The Electoral Commission is yet to be formally notified of his passing, but when that happens, the EC will set a date for the by-election. MP for Ayawaso West, Wogon, Emmanuel paid tribute to the late MP on Joy News' AM show.
Was very self-effacing, very quiet, very modest in his, and I noticed that he had not been too well, and I asked him, I am a health professional, so I could have some discussions with him.
But he was still coming to Parliament?
He was still coming. I mean, he was coming to committee meetings. Okay. The last time we went to a meeting, he was there. He came late, albeit he came late, but he was there.
This was when?
Oh, 2 weeks ago we had a meeting in a men's big hotel. He was there.
But he looked well.
He looked a little slow. He looked a little. I mean, you could say that maybe he had been ill and he was recovering.
Okay.
Okay. So you are slowed down, but it has come as a big shock to me. The last conversation I had with him was I was asking him whether he was going to contest again. He's a third-term MP. He was seeking a fourth term.
Was he going to go again?
Yeah.
Okay.
Which means if he has been vetted or so, yeah, that's what it means.
He probably
has been vetted. Yeah.
I am sorry. I feel hurt by his loss. I pray that the good Lord will console his wife, his children, and his family. I know he's an acquaintance, and I feel pained by his passing away. May he rest in peace.
We at Joy News also extend our condolences to the bereaved family. The wife of the former Ghanaian Times reporter who died in an accident involving journalists reporting from the presidency about 2 months ago is demanding access to the investigative report into circumstances leading to the car crash. There has been conflicting accounts as to what happened on that fateful day, and Lillian Nyama says the report will bring her closure and help her get on with her life. In an interview with Joy News, she said she has waited for too long for the report. She spoke to Francis Aben.
I'm at the residence of Lillian Nyama, the wife of Samuel Nyama, the man you would recall almost 2 months ago died under very tragic circumstances in the eastern region as part of the presidential press corps who were involved in a fatal motor accident. That was almost 2 months ago on the 20th of August 2015. And it's been almost 2 months down the line. A lot has changed. We're here to speak to the wife of Samuel to find out how life has been for her in this very difficult months after the husband passed on. Oh, hi.
Hi.
Good afternoon. Thank you. And how are you today? Tell me that scene when you got to see him.
I just went to see him and told him, Sammy, you asked me to come. That this was not how I was supposed to come to see you lying down. You kept asking that you wanted us to meet, but this is not how we planned it. This is not what you told me. 3 years down the lane that I was going to come bury you just after 3 years of marriage.
And after, sorry that I've had to let you cry this afternoon, but after seeing the body, he's buried, what was on top of your mind? From that time till now, how has it been for you?
It has been thinking. I've been thinking, I've been planning. What do I do with Josiah now that dad is not here? What are the way forward? As a single mom, I have to make some decisions. So it's just planning and thinking, what next? What will make Josiah comfortable without a dad? It's been a lot of planning and
You told me earlier that it's been very difficult. It's not the same without him. What are some of the things that you easily recall or you miss?
I miss the phone calls. I even miss our quarrels.
The quarrels?
Like our misunderstanding. You just miss everything about the person. Your misunderstandings, and you just miss the whole show. Everything about him, you miss it. Even your misunderstandings, you miss everything.
Okay.
You just miss everything.
Do you sometimes dream about him?
I've been trying to, but it's not coming.
You actually pray for it?
I pray. I'll say him, come and tell me something. Come and give us a farewell, because we didn't give ourselves a farewell. I've been asking some young widows, did you see your husband? Did you see your husband? What did you do? I've been praying, I've been asking, I've been doing everything. I've been calling him.
From that time till now, have they been giving you information about the investigation that has been done, that you were promised?
I haven't received any information yet. I don't know whether they are trying to make it one and bring it to me, but I don't know whether because maybe I'm not asking, but I've not received any information yet as to. I still have some questions. Who was the driver? Was he licensed? Was he an experienced driver?
Tell me all your questions.
That's what I'm saying. I want to know who the driver was. Was he licensed? How long has he been driving? Has he been trained for such a purpose like this? I still have some questions on my mind.
I just saw Josiah walk past. I mean, he's been walking around for a while now. How has he been taking it, his father not being around?
That has been the tough part that I keep saying. He keeps asking for the dad. I tried to explain to him, Daddy is going to heaven. He wants you to be a good boy. But he doesn't seem to get it down. And his father used to visit him every weekend when he doesn't go to school. And on weekends, he asks for his dad.
All the time?
All the time.
We wish you well.
Thank you.
That everything you want, you'd get.
Amen.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So that's the wife of the late Samuel Nyama. It's been 2 months since he passed, and the wife has been telling us how life has been in the past 2 months. She wants the investigative report released as soon as possible, so the lessons are learned and any action that has to be taken in improving the living conditions of journalists, especially for those who work at the presidency, will be changed. From her residence here at Tema, I'm Francis Aban for Joy News.
You're watching Joy News today. We'll take a break and bring you more stories. Hello again, you're watching Joy News today. The Supreme Court has dismissed a suit challenging the legality of the ongoing constitutional review process. Now, the suit was brought by US-based Ghanaian lawyer, Professor Stephen Kwaku Asare. Professor Ken Atefua is the lawyer for the plaintiff.
The Supreme Court of the Republic of Ghana gave its decision in a case brought by Professor Stephen Asare, a citizen of Ghana resident in the United States of America, praying the court for a number of important reliefs. The court, by a majority of 5-2, ruled that the application by Professor Stephen Asare, asking the court, in effect, to nullify the work of the Constitutional Review Commission and to stop the Constitutional Review Implementation Committee from continuing with its work, is without merit, and therefore the application is dismissed. We did not have the benefit of hearing the reasons that the Honorable Court, by a majority of 5-2, has for the decision that it has come to, but we do know that 2 justices of the court, the Honorable Justice Jones Doche and Honorable Justice Aniyaboa, dissented from the majority position. The court also granted two of the reliefs, one fully and one partially. The one that the court granted fully was that the powers of Parliament to amend the Constitution the procedure for amending the Constitution must be in accordance. The procedure must be in accordance with that stipulated in Chapter 25 of the Constitution, and the court fully agrees that that is technically, legally correct position of the law, and therefore it agrees. And also it agreed partially with the view that the amendment, Parliament's power to amend the Constitution cannot be delegated to any person or be usurped by Parliament. To that extent, the court, by 5-2 majority, agreed with the plaintiff. The court also adjourned the proceedings to the 29th of October 2015. That is when the court will give the reasons for the decision that it has reached today. It is on that occasion that we will know why it came to the decisions or the conclusions that it came to. And we hope we may also be obliged with the minority or dissenting opinion of the two justices of the court.
The Cocoon National Park in the Central Region could fast be losing its reputation as one of the best tourist attractions on the planet. Both managers and tourists attribute this to the neglect of the road leading to the park. Correspondent Richard Kojonyako joins me on the telephone for more. So, Richard, what more have you been learning about the decline in the fortunes of the Cocoon National Park?
Well, Francisca, apart from the decline in the fortunes of the national park, the road has been rendered remote travel. It's very difficult for people to get to Chifupras. You know, that road from Pedu Junction, if you are familiar with Cape Coast, to Chifupras and Cocoon National Park is just 13 kilometers away from Pedu Junction. Now, that particular stretch of road is dusty and it is riddled with potholes. Vehicles that use that section of the road, especially people who visit the Cocoon National Park, find it very difficult and unbearable before they get to this World Heritage Site. And so they've been complaining, they've been interacting with Joy News that something should be done about it, because if you look at the proceeds that come to the national park, it is objectionable to see that that road has not been fixed. That road was constructed in 1989, and since then nothing has been done to the road. When it rains, a lot of things happen on that road. A lot of accidents occur on this particular stretch of road. People lose their vehicles, and most importantly, they lose their lives as a result of the poor nature of this road. And so they are calling on government that gets 60% of the proceeds that accrue from the national park to fix this dilapidated road, to ensure that tourists will have some confidence when they want to go to this World Heritage Site. Francisca.
Richard, tell us about the importance of the Cocoon National Park, especially to the people of the Western region.
Well, it is in the Central region, Francisca, and it is very important because when prominent people visit this country, that is one of the places they go to have to see this wonder of a tourism potential that has been created. Then it has been suspended on trees. The walkway has been suspended on trees 33 kilometers above or 33 meters above ground level. There are a lot of animal and plant species that are rare. People have not seen some of these animals, so people go there, especially people who travel from outside the country go there. They stay in the forest to have or to catch a glimpse of the potential that we have here. And even prominent people within the country, as well as school children, they visit these sites for educational purposes. And so to think that this important road has been neglected is something that tourists and the users of road cannot.
Hello, Kojo.
Yeah, Farouk, I'm
yes,
here.
Just before I let you go, is there any hope to turn things around?
Well, it's been
I'm afraid we do not have Richard Kojo Nyako on that line, but we were talking about the fortunes of the Cocoon National Park in the central region. We'll move on to other stories. And the Ghana Water Company says it needs about $2 billion to improve and expand water distribution across the country. To help raise the money, the water company is asking for a 120% increase in water tariffs. The Director of Geographical Information Services at the Ghana Water Company, Richard Apia-Otu, told Joy News on the sidelines of a public forum in Accra that the company is in dire need of cash to revamp its operations.
Figure I indicated that the company has spent on projects the past 5 years to build new treatment plants, to put in new pipelines to supply water to various places. There are currently projects in Wa, projects in Kumasi, projects in Winneba, Cape Coast. These are the current amount of borrowing, and these are loans that were contracted, long-term loans were contracted for the government of Ghana for Ghana Water to use to develop projects so that people can have access to revenue. These monies now, as government policy, has to be, we have to pay back all this money. So all these monies have to get into the tariffs, spread over time so that we can make sure that we pay our creditors and then get additional funding. As I also stated in the presentation, that we need about $2 billion to make sure that we achieve 100% coverage for all urban dwellers for the next 10 years. If we are able to get that resource in terms of money, we'll be able to build the needed system capacity and needed pipe infrastructure to supply water to every urban home in Ghana.
So you think people should pay more for tariff?
It is quite obvious that water tariffs that we pay right now is ridiculously very low. How much is a bottle of water compared to a bottle of a gallon of water? If you look at the ratios, it is something that you can calculate. And I can tell you that the quality of water you get through your pipes, the quality are world standards that I can vouch for. That's one, cost of chemical, two, power, energy, personnel, maintenance, development of new assets, all this come together to build up the cost for the tariff you are proposing. And then to be able to sustain the supply for very long term, we need that money to constantly renew our assets, because some of our assets are, we should provide capital maintenance for our assets so that we don't allow the assets to be broken down before the entire system is broken down. We start fixing. We need to make sure that we do constant maintenance and upgrades to our system to make sure that we continue to offer sustainable urban water supply to the citizens of Ghana.
The Food and Drugs Authority is warning it will go after all persons selling contaminated and adulterated food items on the Ghanaian market. Deputy Chief Executive of the FDA, John Odame-Dakwa, has told Joy News investigations had confirmed that palm oil is regularly adulterated with chemicals to enrich the color for more profit. He spoke with Beatrice Edu at a food safety campaign forum in Accra.
As I mentioned in my delivery, we've done investigations and we found out some people adulterating their palm oil with Sudan dyes. Some call it shudi, others call it asomudro. Some also are adulterating peanut butter, or what you call granite paste, with all kinds of things, cheap quality oil and other things that give it bulk. People are even adulterating ground dried pepper powder with pear seed that have been ground and then added on. Now, after all this investigation, we are going out. We've had discussions with market queens on these issues. Now, what we are doing is to make sure that people understand the health implication of what they do. It may not impact negatively on food safety, but it impacts negatively as economic fraud, which the law of FDA also entitles us to make sure that we investigate and then make sure we take it out of our marketplace.
When were these investigations conducted?
It's even still ongoing, but so far the results we have got gives us the chance that, look, we need to move into action now. We've done a lot of education with market queens, but it looks like the education has been taken for granted. It's about time that we really give them a whip for them to know that, look, FDA will not continue to allow this to go on at the marketplace.
If you say now, are you starting tomorrow, maybe next month, when exactly?
Well, I don't need to tell them. The people at the market are very smart, and we want to take them by surprise. We want to name and shame people, for people to understand that they need to be compliant with the law, and you cannot make money at the expense of people's health.
The Ghana Health Service says it has successfully tested a food supplement for breastfeeding infants that should significantly help address malnutrition in the country's children. The startup meal, the outcome of a 6-year joint project undertaken in rural Ghana, is one of several initiatives to address malnutrition in children and also infant mortality.
Supplementing breastfeeding infants' meal has remained a major challenge for many parents, compelling most mothers to experiment. Research, however, shows most of these experimented meals have contributed significantly to malnutrition in infants. The effects, according to health experts, is stunting and anemia among children. The Department of Nutrition and Food Science, University of Ghana, with support from development partners and the Ghana Health Service, after a joint complementary food project which lasted 6 years, has however been able to settle on a highly nutritious supplement.
That we have this product does not mean that we cannot use other locally available complementary food. What is important is the fact that whatever food a household decides to feed to the child, one must have the required nutrients, in the sense that there should be variety, so that all the needed micronutrients will be available. There will be protein, and as I indicated, the food will be nutrient dense, because one should remember that babies have very small stomachs. They are unable to eat large quantities of food at a time, and therefore whatever food you are given should be very nutrient dense, so that the little that the child takes provides all the needed nutrients. So the other local foods should be improved in the sense that other things must be added.
The projects dubbed Joint Complementary Food Projects was undertaken in 3 districts of the Central Region. Infants in selected communities were fed with a specially developed starter food supplement, and the results, according to the project team lead, was positive.
It's a survey that has been, and the Ghana Service has been championing the efforts to improve this. And again, researchers like we are doing, we're also trying to help this week. And that is what makes this project that we did actually very important. We're stakeholders of different backgrounds. We have partners like from academia, the University of Ghana was involved in it, UCC was involved in it, NGOs, international NGOs like International Nutrition Foundation, and the private companies like Ajinomoto and Yedent. We are all involved in this. And again, we have developing partners like Plan, Care, etc., coming together to implement a project that is hoping to address malnutrition, like the stunting, which is actually the critical thing that you have around.
The starter food supplement is expected to be adopted by policymakers in order to make it available, accessible and affordable to parents to help improve the nutritional status of children in Ghana.
You're watching Joy News Today. The latest in business comes up in a bit. The minority in Parliament says fresh evidence it has gathered suggests that government's agreement with the IMF is in breach of the Constitution, since it did not get the necessary parliamentary approval. Mark Asibeyeboa is Deputy Ranking Member on the Finance Committee of Parliament.
In Parliament in early September raised the issue of government's violation of Article 181 of Ghana's Constitution. The violation stems from the fact that the extended credit facility being contracted by government from the IMF is a loan which requires parliamentary approval. Government, as usual, has responded that they do not require parliamentary approval, in the process exposing the ignorance of the Deputy Minister of Finance. We wish to reiterate the point that the government is in violation of the Constitution, and that we will not allow this grave matter to be put to rest until the right thing is done. We intend to use all parliamentary and legal options available to us in the coming weeks to ensure that the laws of the land are respected. As you might be aware, Parliament will reconvene on the 27th of October, and so straight away we would have the parliamentary tools available to us to hold the minister before the House for him to tell us why he does not require parliamentary approval.
Ghana remained Switzerland's second largest trading partner in sub-Saharan Africa after South Africa at the end of 2014. That's according to a report released by the Swiss-Ghanaian Chamber of Commerce. According to the chamber, while the trading volume between Switzerland and Ghana continues to be modest, there is an unexploited potential for increased exports from Switzerland to Ghana. Here's more.
Switzerland's historically negative balance of trade with Ghana widened further, amounting to about 164 million cedis in 2014 compared to 125 million Ghana cedis in 2013. The total trading volume expanded slightly to 415 million cedis in 2014, up from around 403 million Ghana cedis in 2013, which was the net result of a modest rise of imports by 9.9% and fall of exports by 9.4%, excluding gold, which represented the single most important import product from Ghana. 99.2% of the remaining imports in 2014 were agricultural products, in particular cocoa. Ghana remains Switzerland's most important source of cocoa imports in 2014, representing close to 50% of total cocoa imports. Switzerland's exports to Ghana remained concentrated on chemical and pharmaceutical products and machinery goods, which continue to account for 74% of exports.
Belgium-based AB InBev is inching closer to take over the SABMiller, owners of Accra breweries. This follows the decision by AB InBev to increase its financial offer to acquire SABMiller to $104 billion and £44 per share. SABMiller had rejected the previous offers, claiming that they very substantially undervalue the company. A tie-up between the two firms would create the world's largest brewery. In a statement, the boards of the two firms say they have reached an agreement in principle on the key terms of a possible recommended offer. SABMiller is the maker of brands including Peroni and Grolsch, while InBev brews beers such as Budweiser and Corona, among others. And that's it for business. Let's now get the latest in the world of entertainment. Gladys Osoredu joins me in the studio. How are you?
I'm fine, Franca, and you?
I'm good. Red is the color today. Okay, tell me what's coming up.
Yes, you know Echo Micah is still on his case, and this time around a witness is revealing that the amount of substance found in his room was actually up to 127 grams. And of course, you know, Ms. V has sang a theme song for the World Bank End Poverty Project, and she says it means a big thing to her. We've been talking to her, and so let me get straight so she tells us more about that. To help eradicate extreme poverty, the World Bank has set two main goals which it seeks to achieve by the year 2020. On board this project are some carefully selected entertainment icons, which include Ghana's dancehall sensation Ms. V, who sang the theme song for the project. My colleague Ibrahim Ben Bako has been finding out from Ms. V how she feels having her song as a theme song, and she says it means the whole world to her.
Ms. V, yo. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Mama, hey,
So is it a campaign song or is it a song you just did for your album, your upcoming album?
It's a campaign song. It's a song for the World Bank, yes, about this campaign, about this project.
Were you contacted to do it or you did it out of passion for what you are seeing here, poverty?
I was contacted by the World Bank to do it. Yes, seeing that I'm an African musician who takes a lot of time to do music about good causes like the Natural Girl song, helping empower girls and things like that. You know, drew their attention to me. So yeah.
Now, worldwide, your song is going to be used.
Yes.
Yes. What does it mean for you?
It means a lot, and it's not just about me, it's the message in that song. It's really important. That message is heavy, and I mean in the song there's an ewe line that says mikatami wadaka. It means we should all come together and work hard at ending poverty. It's not one man's job, it's not one person's work, it's everybody's work. So the message is really, really heavy. People are really suffering, and it's something we should look at. So yeah.
People are of the impression that poverty cannot be ended, rather it can be reduced. I don't know what you think.
You see, there's a first time for everything. It can be reduced, yes, but you never know. That's why I say it's not one person's work, it's everybody coming together to work. We could actually end poverty. So yes, it's just about the mindset and where we are going.
That's what you're talking, but of course, this, the story was actually pulled down after the tweet that it had dropped, but well, he said it. I don't know why.
He said it, now he's backtracking, that's okay.
Well, what can we do?
Thank you very much, Gladys, for the latest in entertainment. That's it for entertainment news. And do log on to myjoyonline.com for more news. That's it for Joy News today. My name is Francisca Kakwa, and thanks for your company.